Hello there, I'm Ali Hollands from CPHT, which is Clifton Practice Hypnotherapy Training. We are Solution Focused Hypnotherapy trainers across the UK. We're known as the gold standard for Solution Focused Hypnotherapy Training in the UK. And I'm doing a series of interviews with people who are either students or just qualified or in practice, so you can understand what it's like, first of all, to be a student, what it's like to study with us, and also what it's like to be a hypnotherapist, because obviously if this is something you're choosing as your new career, it's kind of interesting to know how that's going to go. So today I'm really excited to talk to Asha Berzon of Mind Ability Hypnotherapy, and she's based in Solihull, and she's literally qualified this month. So everything is brand new, as in like the qualified version. Obviously she's been doing this for a while, she's been training as well, but so she's out in the world fully fledged. So Asha, good to see you today. Really nice to see you again.
Hiya, you okay?
Yeah, I'm really good, really good.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say that, am I? What's been good?
We're okay. What's it like being qualified?
It's a relief. It's quite nice. It's lovely. It's really, really nice being qualified.
So tell me how long, because I know it's this month, but how long have you actually been qualified? Because we're still in weeks, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. So technically, I qualified at the beginning of February.
Wow. Yeah. And bear in mind, it's now the 27th. So yeah. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Wonderful. So you did the full 10-month course. You're just waiting for your HPD to come through, which is the nationally recognised section of what we do. So that's all done. That's coming through. But you're starting to see clients now, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah. So I've been seeing clients pretty much from month 3, I think. So yeah, you're encouraged to see clients quite early on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I always ask everyone is kind of like, what made you decide to train in hypnotherapy, and what made you particularly choose Solution Focused?
So when I was expecting my first child, I did hypnobirthing. And you're supposed to kind of do hypnobirthing a little bit later in your pregnancy, but I kind of decided I wanted to be prepared and I wanted to practice. So I actually did it a little bit earlier. And I did it actually at a time when I completed the course, because it was several weekends. I completed the course, and then my little one decided he was going to arrive 3 months early. And yeah, I know, as you did. And it was really strange. I was in the hospital for 4 days, and they kept asking me if I was okay, because I was so calm. And I'd been practicing and I'd been doing the self-hypnosis stuff. And I was listening to the trance music, and I'd been listening to the scripts that I'd been given. And all throughout, I don't remember having a meltdown. I don't remember making any inappropriate decisions. I remember being able to feel really calm and just being able to say, right, what is the best thing that we need to do for this kid? What is the best thing that we need to do for this baby? And that was pretty much the kind of slant that I took. And he was in obviously in intensive care for 3 months as well, because of, being so premature. And for everyone else, it felt like for them it was an emotional roller coaster, but it just didn't feel like that for me. I spent the day with him. I looked at the charts. I could tell you what those beeping machines do. I could literally now show you everything, what they're about and what they do. And I used to be able to have really in-depth conversations with the consultants, and I used to always attend their everyday morning meeting when they were assessing him fully. And at the time, I didn't think nothing of it, because you just do it, that's it. And then I had my daughter, and I didn't want to go back to work. I wanted to do something, but I didn't want to go back to work. And I'd done hypnobirthing with her as well. And again, another positive experience, but she arrived on time, thankfully. And it just, I just remember sitting one day and I found the music on the laptop that I'd been listening to when I'd had my son. And I found the music, and all of a sudden I just remember this real sense of calm when I heard the music. And I just remember talking to my husband about it, because when we were doing the clear out, I also found the hypnobirthing book that we'd been given. And I started reading it over and over again. And I was like, you know what, this is actually really interesting. And so that was the point where I thought, actually, this could be something that I would really like and enjoy doing. So I started looking into hypnobirthing, and then I thought, well, hang on a minute. If I was a pregnant lady now, who would I pick? A hypnotherapist who's now done a course in hypnobirthing, or just a random person that's done a hypnobirthing course? So that was the reason why I started looking into hypnobirthing. Started making the calls, started speaking to various colleges. And there was a couple of things about the one that the CPHT do. Yeah. Number one, the structure, in terms of one weekend over 10 months, and you're encouraged to have clients. And that was the big distinction for me. A lot of the other courses I saw and looked at, it was very sort of, you study, and then you let loose onto the clients. Yeah. And that was, I mean, my previous career was about working with people anyway, but I still felt that actually, I don't know if I'll be well equipped to be able to work with people's minds in that way. Just because you've got a knowledge base, that doesn't mean that, you've got the right to kind of go digging around up there. Yeah. And so it was the structure of it. It was the fact that it was so client-based that just made it stand out. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm sure Gary has probably mentioned it. I did actually start, and then the course folded, and then I waited a whole year to start it again.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the course folded and I waited an entire year. And I did looking at those courses again, and then I was trying to sort of fathom, well, would it suit me? Would it work for me? And I just thought, no, do you know what? I'd rather just wait. I'd rather just wait and just start in another year's time. And that's what I did.
Fantastic. That's amazing. Well, I'm really glad you did. So along kind of with training, I mean, you've got two. How old are your children now? I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. Yeah, so they're quite kind of labour intensive.
Demanding.
I was going to say labour intensive. Time expensive as well. Yeah. So kind of doing a course, how do you find kind of fitting out? Not necessarily the course weekends, because, we can always find someone. Yeah. When we've got cool kids, there's always someone around to kind of look after them. So, but actually, yeah, exactly, but it's that kind of that stuff in between, because it is such a practical course. How did you manage that?
A lot of the appointments I tended to do when the kids were at nursery. So that was something obviously I had to put into place, make sure that there was, a couple of afternoons, or my mum would come round and have them for a couple of hours while I went out. And in the evening, it was much, much easier, because once they were in bed, that's when you can sit, you can do your reading, you can do your posting, so your social media side of things. But it never felt so labour intensive that I felt that I was sitting in front of my laptop till 11, 12 o'clock at midnight. It never felt like that. And even with the recommended reading material as well, it's so easy to read that actually you don't mind sitting and reading it while you're having a cup of tea, as opposed to watching crappy enders on TV or something, so it doesn't feel like you're studying, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. So, and kind of other challenges through the course, was there kind of anything that really made you kind of like sucking your teeth, or was it all just plain sailing?
No, I think the reality is that when you've got young kids, there is that, juggling and the constant to and froing. I did miss my daughter's birthday twice, because I missed it the first time round at the first course, and then I missed it the second time round on this course. But, I kind of consoled myself that she's not going to really remember, so it's all good. She's fine. She's not going to be scarred or anything. She ain't going to remember anything, it's fine. She got cake. I fed her cake. What does it matter?
She got cake and presents. That's what she'll remember.
That's what she'll remember, exactly. I think just at the times, like when they're a little bit unwell, but then that creates that pressure for anyone, doesn't it? When you're trying to manage part-time work, part-time study, 2 little kids, have a relationship, have a social life, and then one of them decides that they're going to start puking and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, but it passes, and that's the key thing. It's about telling yourself it's going to pass.
Yeah, awesome. So do you think there was anything kind of about the course that actually supported you being able to kind of manage these things so well?
I think this, like I said, I think the fact that it didn't feel like studying, and the fact that every time I attended a weekend course, I would be buzzing on a Saturday and a Sunday. So I'd leave the course and I'd get into the car and I would be talking at 110 miles an hour, my husband. And he'd just look at me going, it's your course, not mine. Stop talking to me. Dude, where's the support? And I think that's what made it. It didn't feel like studying.
Sure.
The reading didn't feel like studying. The overall structure of it, because it is one weekend, yes, that you could potentially say, that's a big commitment. But actually, it's better than having to do several, half days here, there, and everywhere. You've just got one weekend. It's blocked out, and that's it. It's done.
Yeah. Cool.
So the structure was good, and I think having the supervisor on tap, bless him, being able to message him, going, so this just happened, and 10 minutes later getting what did you do? Or no, that's completely normal, that's not a problem. So that was quite useful.
Yeah, because I think there is that bit where, because it is such a practical course and you're seeing clients from quite early on. I mean, relaxation from after month 1, and then by the time you get to month 3, you're starting with, starting just sort of moving into that therapy space, aren't you? So so to have a supervisor kind of on hand is essential, isn't it?
Completely.
Completely. So what is it like now you're qualified?
I love working with the clients. I don't think I've laughed so much at work. I like the freedom it's given me. So I'm trying to get to the gym more. So, I'm like, I can block out an hour and a half here and I can go to the gym and I can do this. And if I can't do that, I can go to the gym. And I love the flexibility that it's given me. And I think the ongoing, knowing that even though I've completed the course, the fact that there's an obligation on me as well to carry on with the continuous professional development as well. So you're not kind of feeling like, oh, well, I'm done now. That's the end of it. It's actually quite nice to know actually there is more to learn, more to develop, so that I can give clients a better service. That's been quite nice.
And you've kind of done something which is really unusual, and it's quite we consider it like a really big achievement. And then you did it again. Now tell us about you and the doctor's surgeries.
So I'm very much about taking hypnotherapy mainstream, and it's quite odd that's I'm quite new into the career, but I'm very clear about what it is that I want to try and achieve and what my aspiration is, which is I want clinical hypnotherapy to be seen as mainstream and as acceptable as CBT, so cognitive behavioural therapy, or talking therapies is what they might be referred to in other areas. And that's one of my big drives. So as soon as I could, I got in touch with the GP surgery and said, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I can help your patients, can I rent a room? And they were quite good actually. They sort of said, okay, you can rent a room. I'm working on building that relationship to now start saying, well, here's some data about the outcomes I've had. Social prescribing's a new big thing as well for the clinical commissioning groups. So I'm trying to kind of use that as leverage and saying, well, wouldn't it be better that you were a pioneering GP surgery rather than a copying GP surgery? We could have a really good collaborative relationship. We could be the ones to show other areas how to do this. So they're kind of warming up to the idea about being the first and all of that. And I've now managed to secure another room at another GP surgery as well. They've been a bit more forthcoming, and they've actually quite happy to kind of give my leaflet to the patients and say, you've got depression, you've been on medication for 2.5 years, you're not improving. Here's a hypnotherapist who will see you if you want. She comes here once a week. Book yourself in for an appointment.
Wow.
So that's my aim.
It's a great aim. It's a great aim. I think we all kind of work along those kind of parameters. So you're talking a little bit about kind of like the data for outcomes. Tell me a bit more about that.
So I've signed up to the Corp. So I've got to remember what it stands for now. Clifton something research program.
I think it's Clifton Outcomes Research Program. I think.
I like something.
So it's a thing that running with Bristol University to get to collate all the outcomes that people get. So to measure people as they go through therapy, which is absolutely unique.
Yes.
And probably we're the only ones who can do it, simply because we've got so many schools. So we've just got loads and loads of data, which of course, even though people know hypnotherapy is brilliant, who've used it, we've got nothing to kind of go, yeah, here, look, here's the proof. So this is why, you know, this is such an important project. Yeah. But actually, as you'll find by the sound, so carry on with what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's why. No, it's okay. No. But I'm glad you were able to give me the background about the Bristol Uni, because I didn't know that. But no, you're absolutely right. And I've already started to use it with the GP surgeries to say, look, here's the outcomes that we're achieving. And actually, I can show you comparatively to CBT in the area, we're actually doing better. I'm actually doing better than CBT. So why wouldn't you want my services? And the practice manager, bless her, she went, oh, crikey, you know, you are doing much better than CBT. So, you know, I'm like, yeah. So this is what hypnotherapy is about, and this is what we can do. But also, I think it's been really, really useful because I've been able to show the clients. Yeah. You know, so when they're telling me I'm scaling a 9 on happiness or confidence or whatever it might be, I'm able to say, well, actually, over the 8 sessions, here's your chart, and look, this is how you've slowly progressed. And you know, where there's been a dip because there's been a particular incident, you can see, and how you've then worked through it and then carried on. And that's been fantastic, actually, to be able to have that bit of statistical information. Because as we know, GPs and clinical commissioning groups respond well to stats.
They do, and clients, even though they're not kind of stat-led, we all love a stat, don't we? And we all love to see how we've, you know, it's almost like, it's not, but it makes me think of star charts. You know, like the little bit, it's like, oh, look at all these brilliant things I've done. But it gives a real, because it you know, when you sort of kind of see the data, someone can, and it gives them that confidence. And of course, it's such a, you know, because it's such a two-way therapy, they have to do so much of the work. You know, it's just like, look at the work I've done. That you find, and it gives them that real confidence. It's like, oh yeah, I have done all this stuff, haven't I? Yes. So.
And I think that's really, really important, because, you know, when they start with you, they're in such a bad place that they can't see beyond that fog, that haze, that whatever the words that they use. And then all of a sudden, when it's lifted, and it's quite funny because, you know, a couple of clients will kind of go, oh yeah, well, I get the train now, and I go here and I go there, and, you know, and I'm smiling because I know when they started, they'd be like, I'm not getting on a train, I don't do trains, it gives me really bad panic attacks. You know, so you kind of can't say to them, or I prefer not to say to them, oh, remember when you used to have panic attacks on the trains?
I'm sure we don't, do we? We just we don't mention it. We just have that little internal smile and go, yeah, good, this is all going well, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow. You know, and you go, oh, that's great. You know, you've created a new template. That's brilliant. you know, and you do that. But then you pull up the chart, you see, and go, but look, here you go. This is this over the 7 sessions, 8 sessions, 6 sessions, 2 sessions, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Look, this is what you've done.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah.
Cool. So, other than forcing hypnotherapy down the throats of everyone until we are as well known as CBT, please carry on that. I agree with you totally. What's the kind of the plan just for you, right, kind of in this kind of first exciting year in practice? How will you know when it's been a success?
When I really get my head around business planning.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding how business works. For someone who's always been employed and, you know, had an IT department, had a payroll department, had a HR department, got sickness pay, all of those little things that we take for granted when you're in employment, when I've got my head around all of that and I'm confident that the tax man's not going to look at my books and go, what is this? You know, it's that kind of thing. I think that's my big aspiration, because I kind of feel like this is the year for me to get my head around all of that.
Yeah.
As well as social media type stuff, because I'm really not social media minded at all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say, you know, the one of the biggest challenges of being a hypnotherapist is that you have to learn these 2 whole new things at the same time. So normally in the rest of the world, what you get is, I've got this new qualification, I'm going to work for someone, and I'm going to hone my skills and my confidence in my new skill. Or we go, I'm brilliant at what I do, I'm going to go out into business and I'm going to get good at doing business for myself in the things that I'm already good at. Whereas we have that kind of double helix where we're doing both at the same time. So what is it that you're doing that's keeping you kind of calm in that? Because it is a challenge. We want to be, you know, we want to go, if we could just fast forward a year later, it would be lovely, wouldn't it? But we know we can't do that. So what is it that you're doing that's kind of helping you manage that process? So
I am trying to do a lot more sociable things for myself. So I'm trying to do a lot more reading for myself. In other words, I'm taking time out for myself, because I think there's a great, there's the capacity to kind of be like, this is my business, therefore everything falls on me. So therefore I must work 24 hours a day. So what I've tried to now do is have a structure in place, which is now I work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Those would be my core business hours if I was still at work. And in the evening, I may do an hour, depending on what the overflow may have been. So I think it's about being fair to yourself. So it's about those little things. The other thing that I've done is I've signed up to a couple of business networks. And, you know, some of them don't always work for you. It's about who you are, what it is that you want to achieve, and where you want your circle of influence to be, and where you want to be recognised and seen. The other thing that I've done is, one of my clients, she's a business coach and she's really good at what she does. So we've just now done an exchange of services. So she doesn't charge me, I don't charge her. So yeah, you know, I think it's just those little things that you can tap into and do. So if there is something that you enjoy doing, a sport, you know, seeing your friends on a regular basis doing X, Y, and Z, you know, just carry on doing that, because we need to make sure we get our serotonin as much as we expect our clients to.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got the future planned out, which is amazing, and sounds like you've got it nicely step changed as well. But thinking back to before you came on the course, is there anything you might go back and tell yourself, or is anything you were kind of worried about then that you might want to go, hey, look, that thing that you're worried about, it's going to be okay?
I think business planning type stuff, not to give it so much energy. As much as I've just said that I want to learn, I think it's about accepting that it is a new space to me. So not to be so caught up and thinking about, how do you do bookkeeping? How do you do this? How do you do that? Because actually I'm a kinesthetic learner. And so for me, I need to do it as I go along, rather than sort of speculating and creating that fear. I didn't need to do that. And I'm sure everyone has told you, start that frigging portfolio. Start the portfolio as soon as you can. Don't do what I did, which was over Christmas, spent something like 10 days, 6 a.m. in the morning to 2 o'clock every night, sitting there bashing it all out. Just where you can, start making those small little dents, as soon as you've read something and you know that there's a couple of questions you can answer, just crack on and do it.
Yeah.
Crack on
So,
and do
it. And you're right. Actually, everyone who's a student, they do mention that afterwards, funnily enough. So, and yeah, for context, this is the portfolio as part of the HPD, which is that externally verified. So we have to have it written, but it's also the thing that kind of puts us on a par, and kind of gets us recognised out there in
yes.
So, isn't it? So, and it's a tough bit of work, but it's not kind of, the questions are they're doable, but it's just, so it's more about kind of making the time and actually giving yourself the space to actually do it, isn't it?
Yeah. And to be fair, they are, the questions aren't complicated. They're not complex in any way. And to be fair, they're not even necessarily massively long either. But it is just because there's, I think, I won't tell you how many questions there are because I can actually quote it, how many questions there are. But because there are so many questions, you do have to sit and you have to formulate, an answer. And that's all it is. You have to sit and type, and it also depends on how efficient you are on typing a laptop. I'm not great. And, takes me a bit of time to do the old, I don't even know what it's called, when you line it all up and you make sure the font is correct and all this, that, and the other, all these little kind of niggly things, as people like to call it.
Yeah.
So that's where it becomes time consuming. It's not complicated.
Sure.
No.
Excellent. Well, I can't leave it on you kind of feeling a bit negative about the portfolio. So, what's kind of the next first big milestone for you?
What's the next big milestone for me? I would say being able to say that I specialise in working with children.
Wow.
I think that would be the next one.
Wow.
After I've done my CPD day, I think that will be the next big milestone to be able to then say, yes, done the training, I get it, and I can deliver this, I could do this. That'll be my next big one.
Fantastic. Wow, well, I can't wait to hear about when that's happening. I shall look out for it on social media. So, Asha, it's been amazing to talk to you. Really good to catch up, and to see kind of, even just in the kind of, 3 months since I saw you.
I think it was,
the kind of the difference and the development, and actually the confidence in your business, funnily enough. Yeah, because I always knew you were a confident therapist. So, but even just the business bit's been amazing.
Yeah.
So I have absolute confidence that the rest of that's just going to roll over for you with the odd fun challenge on the way. If you would like to find out more about what we do at CPHT, or what it's like to be a hypnotherapist, or you have any questions, or you're thinking of training, then obviously just get in touch. You can go and stalk Asha online, because we'll put her details in below. So you can go and see what she's up to, make sure she's getting on with her social media. But obviously, as I said, we are here to talk to you whenever you like, and I'm sure if you've got in touch with any of the people in these interviews, they'd be delighted to talk to you as well. So, Asha, thank you very much for staying. I really appreciate it. It's been amazing to talk with you. And thank you guys for watching. It's absolutely fantastic. Hope to see you soon in the classroom.